Alright guys, so we're back to finish up the install here. What I didn't show you yesterday was putting the axles back in and installing the C-clips. Once you get those things in, pretty much not much left to do besides rotate the carrier and add your cross pin and the crosspin bolt, which you also have to torque. So what we're going to do here today is I'm going to show you what a C-clip is and how a C-clip keeps the axles in, and why some people hate C-clips. So basically, basically those two little round things right there are the ends of your axles, and you can see how there's a machined groove in there. Basically right now I can pull the axles in and out no problem. They're just basically rolling on a bearing at the end of the axle and rolling on the inside of the carrier. So basically what goes in there are C-clips. Now this here, my little rag of fun here, are C-clips, oddly enough. You wonder how they get their name, but that's what a C-clip is. So basically, in a drum brake rear, that is the only thing that holds the axle in the car. If one of your C-clips break or magically fall off, or who knows what, if that C-clip comes off the end of that axle, the axle basically just flies out of the side of the rear, and you look like a complete jerk off. They do make C-clip eliminator kits. Not many people care for those. They're kind of weird. I've actually never used them, so I can't really comment on how well they work. I know I've heard people say that they leak, which is kind of a horror. But so those are C-clips. Now, basically what you want to do here is push your axles in as far as they'll push, and that gives you access to that groove there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a crusty old curved pecker needle nose, grip one of these C-clips, and get it in that groove. And then what we're going to do is we're going to push the C-clip all the way in the groove, and I'll show you what that looks like. Let me get the C-clip started, and I'll show you how that works. Alright, so we're back again. As you can see, both the C-clips are on the notched or the machined area of the axle. So this here right here is your C-clip. Now what you want to make sure is that it's like actually on. Some people might not check it, but I would prefer not to die. So all I'm doing is taking the straight edge and pushing it to make sure that it's completely on. And it seems like it is. And at this point, to kind of show you how these things work, I will pull on the right side axle, and you'll see the axle slide out, but will stop once the C-clip engages. So again, this is kind of the shady part about C-clips, but I'm going to grab the hub and pull to the passenger side of the car. You see that move? That's basically what keeps the axle in the car. Now, like I said before, on drum brake cars, it's especially dangerous because you don't have the caliper, the brake caliper, to kind of keep things in. Not saying that relying on a brake caliper to keep the axle in the car is a viable option, but it makes me feel a little more comfortable knowing that if the C-clip falls out, or brakes or whatever, that the caliper is kind of capturing the rotor, which is also slipped over the axle hub, or axle flange, if you will. So again, just to show you, I'll reach in here and push this other side out. So basically that just moved the axle back out and allowed us to gain access, which I'll show you now. Of course, I'm the wrong way, but we will rotate the carrier over to access this this hole here, which looks like I'm going to have to tap that S spring down a little bit, because it's not going to allow that cross pin to go through. So let me tap that through and we'll get back to you. Alright, so you can see that now I have this pin in the large hole that lines up with the top and bottom spider gears, goes through the S spring. And what we're going to do is basically push this through the other side, and then you're going to take your cross pin bolt, which is this doodad, and wiggle it till it goes in the hole that is in the cross pin, and then tighten it and torque it down, and you are set. You have both your C-clips in, you have your axles in, you have the S-spring in, everything is ready to go here. You just need to add your friction modifier and your gear oil of choice. So hopefully this helps someone. If not, I don't know. I kind of enjoy doing stuff like this. So regardless, here you go. That's the final episode of the Ford Trac-Lok Cobra kit 0304 years with the carbon fiber clutch discs in a Ford 8.8. This one's a 31 spline out of a 96 Ford Explorer. So what I'm going to do is torque that cross pin bolt down. You have to check the spec on that. I don't even know what it is. But regardless, torque that bad boy down. Wipe out the housing a little bit more if you have to. And crack that drain plug on the opposite side, the front of it. And start plugging in your gear oil and your friction modifier. What I'm going to do here, guys, is clean up my cover and get the cover on and go from there. Any questions, shoot me a message.